This is why you are not selling anything on eBay. My name is Audacity Flips, and today we're going to be covering that topic because since the dawn of eBay, there has been so many tinfoil hat conspiracy theories on why am I not selling anything? I was selling things a month ago. I'm not selling things now. eBay's suppressing my listings. eBay hates me. eBay's pushing my listings down. eBay's not showing people my listings. I sold a ton of things before, and now things are different. They changed the algorithm. There's a million different excuses, and whether you've been doing eBay for a long time or not at all, this is a thing that you probably even know about because everybody talks about it. Almost every single seller I see talks about it and talks about how eBay's against them and eBay hates them and the world is against them, and that's why they can't sell any products. But in reality, it's not really that. Now, there are some cases where that happens. For instance, which has happened to me, unfortunately, a few years ago, or maybe a year or two ago, but my performance became below standard. And they outright tell you that your listings are lower in search results. I remember I was selling a supercharger to my GT500 and I had it priced $100 under all the other superchargers, and my listing was literally last when you look through them all. Granted, there was only like 10 or something like that, but still, that's a real thing and it does happen. But you're not like blacklisted, you're not blackballed, eBay doesn't hate you. Realistically, it's probably one of these things that we're going to cover. So let's go over some of them. Number one, your pictures are horrible. Just point blank period. You have awful pictures. You take horrible pictures, whether it be a messy background, terrible lighting, no lighting at all. I have seen that, believe it or not. I have literally seen people sit in the dark and take pictures with their flash on and think that that's okay. So maybe your pictures are absolutely horrible. Now, maybe they're not. So let's move on to the next one, which is titles. Now, titles do not make as big of a difference as people make it out to be, right? I mean, yeah, some keywords in there are a really good idea, but let's say I am trying to sell this right here, this Marvel Moon Knight number 266 Funko Pop, right? Let's say I'm trying to sell this guy and I'm a buyer. What am I going to do? I'm going to look up Moon Knight Marvel Funko Pop number 266. So I already know what I'm looking at, right? I already know what I'm searching for. So realistically, 90% of buyers are not looking at the title anymore. Okay, so as long as you got that keyword search, right? Funko Pop, Marvel, Moon Knight, right? Then you're okay. You're going to appear in those search results. So realistically, your title does not matter as nearly as much as you think, besides those keywords so you actually appear, because people's eyes just go towards the pictures, which we covered. But misspelling. Misspelling happens so often. I've reviewed student stores, and what ends up happening is I notice that they will spell something wrong. The most famous one I see spelt wrong is Pokemon. I very often see it spelt Pokemon. Don't know why. Maybe they didn't grow up watching it like I did, but Pokemon is how they spell it. And what do you think happens, right? Nobody's searching Pokemon. You gotta hope that your other keywords, like the type of game or card or whatever, is what ends up pulling it up in the search results, but you could easily have some misspelt words. Now, the first one, pictures, the second one, price, kind of like not a super high likelihood, right, of that happening. Now let's get into some very likely things that are happening. One is going to be shipping. Your shipping rates are probably crazy if nobody is buying them. Now, it might be an accident. This happens to me a lot. I'll sometimes forget that I have on calculated shipping or something. And generally speaking, me personally, I don't type in the dimensions and everything beforehand. I kind of throw an approximation on there, or if I use the sell similar feature, I'll use their approximations. And sometimes their approximations are insane, and I'll leave on calculated shipping. So I'll have an item for, again, let's just use this Funko Pop as an example, and the calculated shipping will be like $25. And honestly, I don't even notice that until a buyer is sending me a message saying, hey man, I'm like 3 states over. How is it going to cost you $25 to ship it? And then I'm go, oh crap, I didn't even know. So check your shipping and make sure your shipping rates are actually competitive, right? Again, if you're shipping this, and let's say you do calculated or flat rate, doesn't really matter. Make sure your shipping is not $18, $15, whatever. Make sure it's competitive with the weight of the item. Now, the next one is a big one that you're probably doing, and that after you watch this video, you need to go double check. And that is pricing items incorrectly. So this happens all the time, literally all the time. And one of 2 or 3 things happen. One is you go, oh yeah, I guess I priced that wrong. I guess I looked at the top listing or one of the top listings, like a sponsored listing, for instance. I need to change that. Or you're in absolute complete denial and think that that's what the item is worth. You're one of those, I know what I have, don't lowball me, because you think you know what you have. But guess what? You don't decide what it's worth. The market does. So you have again, we'll just keep using this. Let's say you have this and everybody else, these are listed for anywhere from like $60 to like $90. So let's say you have this and you have yours was for $120. And you're like, oh, well, mine is in perfect condition. And blah, 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 blah. You really don't think that somebody else has a perfect condition Funko Pop on there for cheaper? You're absolutely delusional. So what you should be doing is you should be checking these things, because another thing that happens, especially with things like this, wow, this is such a great example. Who would have thought? But what happens with things like this is they constantly change price. This is a phenomenal example. Now, I collect certain Funko Pops. Moon Knight is one of my favorite superheroes, so I don't plan on selling this. I never did. Well, when the show came out, these were actively selling for over $100. Actively all day long. If you listed one for sale, they were selling like crazy, and their sell-through rate was insane. It was like 300, 400%. Now, these are selling for like closer to $60 on average for sold comps is what I'm seeing, around $60-ish, and they only have about 100% sell-through rate. Okay, so when you bought this item, let's say you bought this at the flea market for 20, 30, whatever dollars, and at the time, it was probably worth $120 that you have it listed for. But now, you kind of missed that opportunity, and guess what? This came way down. So you're kind of stuck with a choice. Either keep it up for 120 and have nobody buy it and have, take money out of your pocket, basically, because it's just sitting on a shelf and you're taking up shelf space. Or you can bite the bullet. You can still make a little bit of profit if you bought it correctly, because you should never be buying popular pop culture items or kind of in the moment things for these insane prices, because you should know that they are inflated, and that if you're going to do that, you should know to get in and get out as soon as you possibly can. So a great idea, if you're not selling a lot, is to go through your eBay store right now and go price check everything. Go look at sold comps. Don't look at one. Don't look at a sponsored post. Go look at a general consensus and go look at actual sold comps, and don't go off the highest sold comp. Go off of an average number that you see and price that item accordingly, because truth be told, that thing's going to sit on your shelf forever if you're way outpriced the market. So that's another one that you absolutely should be going and looking over. Now on to the last one, which absolutely is the reason that you're not selling a lot of product right now, if any, is listing. It's that simple. There's nothing else to it. Is listing. You're not listing enough. For me, what I've noticed is about 7 listings a day, which I know is crazy. That's a ton of listing. Trust me, I know. But about 7 listings a day will really get your store cooking, okay? Now, if you can list every day, that's a great idea, right? Put them puppies in your draft and fire them off when you're at work or something, or when you have some free time, so you can consistently upload every single day, because that's what you want. You want daily upload, or at least a period, right? You list for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, take a couple days off, do the same thing again, right? So for me, generally, I personally list anywhere from Monday through Friday. Most of the times, Monday through Wednesday is when those are my listing days, and then I'll sprinkle in a couple here or there. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I go pretty heavy on my listings, and I sprinkle some throughout just to kind of keep that gravy train rolling. And that's what you should be doing too, is consistently listing. If you have a ton of items, 7 items a day. If you don't, I would try to kind of post 7 items a day for maybe a couple days in a row. And if you don't have that much, maybe you're just starting out, that's okay. Post 2 or 3 listings every single day, but you need to be consistent, and you need to make sure you're pricing those competitively, and you need to make sure that your shipping is okay, and you're not misspelling words, and your pictures aren't hot doo-doo caca. So make sure you do that, and you'll be in good hands. Now, if you're going, oh my gosh, Audacity, I don't know what you're talking about. I've done every single one of those and nothing, and I'm still not selling anything. Well, sorry to tell you this, bud, but this is a cold, hard truth. Your items are probably absolutely garbage, okay? Garbage, because quantity is not quality. I cannot tell you how many people I have helped that have come to me, hey man, can you review my eBay store, right? And I do, and there's 1,800 items, and I'm going, whoa, oh my gosh, this guy's a hustler. And then I go through and look, and it looks like somebody just went through a room in a hoarder's house, and it's just like garbage. It's garbage. It's just not good. Things that are broken, things that are dirty, that aren't even like cleaned up properly. They're taking pictures of clothing, and they're kind of like bunched up, have wrinkles all over the place. Like, it's just garbage. It's garbage, and most of the time it's really low ticket items too, and it's just so not worth it. You want quality over quantity. You do not want to be listing garbage, because I'm sorry to tell you this, but at the end of the day, there's just some things that aren't worth it. There's just some things that aren't worth it. DVDs is a huge gripe of mine. I hate DVDs because they're not worth it. With media mail, with eBay's fees now being 13.25% plus 30 cents, per final value fee. And then if you have any sort of insertion fees, if you've went over your 250 items in the month, I mean, it's just so not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. I know DVDs aren't huge or anything, but it's just not worth it. Don't do it. Do not be that guy that is sitting there saying, well, I upload every day and I take good pictures and my mom loves me. That's awesome. But if your products are absolutely garbage, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the equivalent if you say, oh, well, I'm at work 15 hours a day. Well, guess what? If for 10 of those hours you're just shooting shit with your buddies and not doing any work, it doesn't matter how long you were at work, because you realistically only got 5 hours of work done. So you could be uploading a million things a day, but if they're all garbage that nobody wants, and they're like newspapers from 2007 and a specific date, or baseball cards that are worth 20, 30 cents a piece, or Pokemon, generic Pokemon cards, and you're trying to sell them individually, there's just some things that people don't want. So you need to come up with a new strategy, whether that be bundling items up if you have a lot of these smaller items. Again, cards is a phenomenal example. Maybe hats, things like that. Bundle them up, because if you have a big pile of garbage and you're just individually listing everything, sure, you'll have a ton of listings, but guess what? It's not going to sell. My advice to you would be to take all those pieces of garbage wrapped in those individual Ziploc bags and dump them into one big dumpster, okay? And list it on eBay, right? If you don't want to take that hit, A-okay, make one giant lot for that genre, that specific item or whatever, and try to get rid of it, because it is weighing you down. And even though you say, oh, I work really hard, I take pictures, I upload, your products are probably just bad. And it's really that simple. So hopefully this helped a lot of you guys out. Sorry for the cold, hard truth. I know this is going to be the real cold splash of water some of you needed, and some of you are just going to probably be very, very upset at this, because what I am saying is the truth. eBay, there's not a conspiracy against you, I promise. Your tinfoil hat is absolutely glimmering in the light, because unless you're a below average seller, or you have gotten banned, or you have crazy strikes or something, eBay wants to make money too. So they're not just going to pick you. Whoa, 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 whoa. This guy, Billy Bob Joel. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's trying to sell stuff on our platform where we take 13.25% plus 30 cents for every final value fee plus insertion fees. Nah, we don't want that. We could do without it. We could do without the money, boys. Yep, tell the shareholders. Tell the shareholders we don't care. That doesn't happen. Sorry to say, guy. Sorry to be the one that has to break it to you, but it's just not true. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the crap out of you. And make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing, checking the description. I got a whole bunch of goodies down there, especially to help you new or intermediate sellers with selling on eBay. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.